Hello, guys. Welcome again to the continuation of the tutorial series Adalo Beginner Class. And today we are going to be diving into database. We are going to be going to database, but before we do, let's briefly talk about something very, very important: building with Adalo. Now, when you are building an app with Adalo, there are certain things you must clearly understand. So we are going to go through this so that you are going to be very aware the things you must know, you must master before you can actually build an app on Adalo. And so far we've been talking about some of them. So I'm going to go over everything that's at least the basic things as you must know, you must understand before you can actually build an app using Adalo. Now there are 3 to 4 key areas. The first thing is design. If you are going to build an app with Adalo, you must be good with design. Combining components for your visuals. That's what the design is all about. So in the previous video, we talked about components. Now, how well you can combine these components to give you what you want is very crucial. So in the first video or second video, we talk about UI/UX design, which is going to be very important if you're going to build an app. You don't just think of an idea and you just jump on it and you start building. You must have a sketch, you must have a wireframe. And most likely, if you are building a serious app, a serious product, you will have to do some research to come up with a good UI/UX design. Then once you have that, you can get on your Adalo and start combining components for your design to have exactly what you have designed or what you already have as wireframe. So now, if you are going to be building for different screens, desktop, tablets, and mobile, you are going to understand responsiveness, which means whatever when you design, you want your design to scale down from web to tablet to mobile. So they have to beautifully respond according to different screens. And the next thing is database. When you design your app is going to need content, user content, what people can do. All those will be in your database, and that's why you must understand database setup. So in database setup, there are certain things you must understand. What's called collection, properties, relationship, and 3 types of relationship when it comes to Adalo database. And this that I listed here, one to many, many to one, many to many, you are going to understand as we are going to be, this video is going to be mainly on database, and we are going to discuss more on this. And then the next thing is another aspect of database, external collection. Then we are going to, the next thing you need to understand is actions, how screens will be linking together, how you are going to be creating things, how you are going to be updating your things, your items, how you are going to delete. So different actions based on what you need to happen on your app. So these are key areas you must understand when you are building an Adalo app. And so far we've talked about components, and today we are going to go into database setup. So let's get in proper. So this is a sample app. We're going to switch to client app. So we are going to switch into a sample app, Lenify app that we have created. But so far, nothing has been done because we are still in the explanation process to set us right for what we are going to be doing on the app. So we are back on our app and let's get started fully. So we are going to be deleting some of the components we've been playing around with, so we can go on this. Actually, I'm going to leave this. So let's get into Adalo database. We've been talking about database. Understand? Now, to understand database, you have to compare it to storage. You know, database all about storage, where to keep things. That's what storage is. Now, we've been over this before, so we're just going straight to database. Now, on your app, the first thing that is certain that you should already know is that what your app is going to be used by people, and these people, Adalo call them users. Any type of person, any type of user, it doesn't matter if it's admin or if it's just other people that are just exploring your app, they are all called users. So that is the first thing you must understand. And that is why by default, Adalo already created a database, a collection in your app. When you create an app by default, it's going to come as default collection that is already created. So, which is why now this is called a collect. This is called collection. So, and you can add more. This is the default one that is added because Adalo already know that there will be users on your app. So that's why it's creating this by default. Now, these users, what are the things that you will need from them? That this app will need from them to function, for them to be able to use the app. Those things that you need for them, for example, when a user want to make use of an app, when a user want to make use of an app, they are going to sign up and they are going to be able to log in back to their app, which is why you are going to need their email for them to sign up, or peradventure you don't want to use email, you want to use username. You are going to use you are going to need something for them to sign up, and they can, once they sign up, they can log in back to the app. So what, since you are going to need an email, so under the user collection, the things that you need from those users are added as properties. So each this email that a user is going to need to sign up is a property, and that is why it's already added already. Now they are going to need a password. If you are going to create an account, you need to set password so others don't have access to the account. So that is why this one is set already. Password is a property. So in case you might need their username or you want them to sign in with their username, it's already added as property. And another thing was you are going to need the name of the user. You are going to need the name of the user. So it's been added as a property. So these are the things that are going to be needed compulsorily from a user using an app. So all these things will be needed. And that is why Adalo has added a padlock here that you cannot delete them. You can rename, but you cannot delete. They are going to be needed by default. So those are the four properties that came with this user collection. And everyone here will be called users. That's why it has already been pluralized users, because there are going to be very many. And you two are going to be following the same model in adding more collection. So don't forget, collection is that thing that is going to be needed either people. When it's people, is called users, which is already created by default. When it's any other thing, they can just call them item. Understand? Any other item, then you can start creating yourself. But when it comes to people, Adalo already created it as users. So you can create for any other thing else. Now, let's say we are going to be using an example now. Let's say you want to create your app is about what you want to list products for people to purchase. When you go to any marketplace, starting with Amazon or any store, you understand, you are going to be listing products for people to buy. You're going to list products for people to buy. So that product you are going to be listed for people to buy. I said products because Probably you are going to be listing more than one. So there will be many products to list, which is why in your database, you need to set up a database for it, because you don't want to be adding it one by one, and no, that's not going to be a smart work. So you need it saved in your database such that any user can have access to it anytime. Understand? So which is why you are going to create a collection for your product. So when you add collection, you name it by what it is, which is what products. So when you add it, by default, Adalo will add the first property and they call it name, because whatever items you are gathering on your app is going to have a name, and that's why it's being added by default and it's padlocked, because what? Yes, it's going to be, at least there's going to be a name for that item. Understand? No, okay. Now, the fields of the item, what are they going to be? Like I said already, those fields, the things that are important about that item, they are called property. The collection of that items is now what is called products. Now, to add those products, what are the things you will be putting in your database? Is going to have a name, of course. Is that you call it name or you call it title. If you are dealing with products, like I said, we can rename this. So you can call it title of the product, or name of the product. Either way. Now another thing is that what a product will have description. Understand? Now, when you are adding properties, there are different type of property based on what that field is going to be. If it's going to be text, you use text property. If it's going to be number, in the case of price, you use number. Now, if it's going to for you to be able to check a condition, either true or false, you use this. If it's going to be date, time, you use this. If it's going to be picture, in case of picture or product image, you use this. And it's for people to, if it's going to be files, you use this. For in our own case, description is going to be text. So we say text description. So that will be product description. Now we are going to name price. You use number and we put price. Another thing the product we need is an image. So we are going to name product image. So we say image. You put that one there. So these things will be needed for you to upload your products. Now, another thing that you can use to know to for you you can use to control your products for users to see is you might want to know how many products, how many are in stock, how many are in stock. And today we are going to be using new life products as an example. So how many products are in stock? So you might want to use something like stock, so that you can put the number there. So like this, we are good to go for our products. So, and we are going to put a sample. I'm going to put a sample. So now on this, you can see that what we have zero records, that is no product has been added. The same way here, no users has registered on the app. So when you click on this, you are going to see if there are products, but there are no products yet. Here we can see add a product. So let's show a sample of what we want to add, kind of product we want to list, let me open. Like I said, it's going to be, example is going to be new life products. Okay, all right. So when we go to products, yeah, you're going to see list of products. So here we see that we have product image, we have product title, or you call it name, we have price, and we're going to have description. If you click on this, you're going to see the description of the product. So in our own case too, we are going to add a product. We add product. I will start by selecting the image so I can know which what my product is going to be. Mhm. Okay, so I'm uploading the product. This product is called training. I'm going to post this description. So the price, I'm going to say 40,000 in Nigeria naira, and how many are in stock, how many are available for sales. So here I'm just going to put 10. So down here I can click on save. So I have one product listed already, and you can continue on listing products like this, and we can make use of it in our database, in our design, our for users to be able to see. So this is a database tutorial, so it's going to be a bit longer than one. Now we have products, we have two collections already, users and products. Now for users to be able to buy this, when user want to buy this product, they have to place an order. So when they place order, then they are going to choose any products that they are buying. Let me see if I have. So they are going to choose any product. That's how it works. They are going to choose the product they are buying, and that is how we can know who is buying what. And we're going to use that as example right now. We're going to use as example. So I want to locate that we created. So when say product is listed like this, a user can come and click on the product. So when they click on the product, they can, okay, this is the description, this is the name, this is the price, and they can buy. So when they buy, they will be placing order. So when they buy, we have to create order for them. So now, which means that what, and for to be able to do that on our Adalo app, we must create order. When a user, we must create a collection to handle that, such that when a user placed an order, we need to add to our collection and call it orders. Understand? So and call it orders. Orders. So we are going to be naming the orders. That's why there's going to be default this name. Now the order is going to be for what? To buy this product. So each order we have, all right, okay, the product that was purchased and who purchased it and the amount. The product purchased, then we are going to have quantity as well. The quantity of the product, so we add property and call it quantity. Call it quantity. You might want to buy a product and buy buy 2, 3, or 4 as you want. So we call it quantity. Quantity of the product purchased. Now, we are going to need who purchased the product, which is a user, and the product that was actually purchased, which is why in this order we need a product that was purchased. And that is why we are going to talk about the next thing under properties here that we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about location, but location is when you have a premium account and you want to use live location, you want to use live address, you want to use map. That's when you use location. It's just like any other properties. And the last one here is relationship, which is quite different. Now, to place an order, and we have collection for our orders like this. Collection is what? Collection of orders that have been placed. Now, we are going to name the order, of course. We are going to need the quantity of the product. We are going to name products that was purchased, the quantity of the product that was purchased, and who purchased the product. You know, we are going to need who purchased the product. Who purchased the product. So that is why yeah, before we talk about who purchased the product, we are going to need the product that was purchased. So, which is why we are going to have to link. There must be relationship between these orders and products. You understand? Because when a user places an order, they are buying a product. So there must be a relationship between order and product. And that is why we talk about we need to add a property to link it to products. And that's why we are going to use relationship. Relationship is talking about how two different collections are related. How they are related, and that's what's called relationship. Now, this order is related to products, and that is why we have to establish a relationship between the order and products. And when it comes to relationship, where we pick products. Now, what is their relationship? There are three types of relationships between two collections. So the first one is called many to many. The first one is called one to many. The second one is called many to one, as you can see here. And the third one is called many to many, many and many. So going back to the first one that says one to many. Now, one to many, this one says, okay, now a product can have multiple orders. And a order belongs to one product. Now, what this is talking about is that that is we have product collection and we have orders collection. Now, we're now talking about in a product collection, one product can have many orders. That is many orders in different that is different orders can have that same product. Now, the second one that is saying that what order belongs to one product. That is, one single order is for one product. One single order is for one product. Now, if we okay, let's explain the next two before we talk about that. Now, this also says a product can only have one order, right? A product can only have one order, and a order can have multiple products. Now, this is saying that was when someone places an order, they can select many products. Understand? They can select many products. But when it says that a product can only have one order, that is when a product is already ordered once, that product cannot be ordered again. That's what this means, that a product can only have one order. Yeah. When a product has been ordered, it is automatically unavailable again. It cannot be found in any order again. Right? Is that how orders and products works? No. Unless a product is out of stock. When it is ordered, it can be ordered again. It can be ordered by the same person again, and it can be ordered by somebody else, by another person as well. So that means that what this relationship is definitely not what should be between products and order. Now, let's see the third one here that says a order can have multiple products. That is, in a single order that you place, you can have many products there. Now, the second one that says a product can have multiple orders. That is, a single product can be ordered multiple times, which is true. This can be true. A single product can be ordered multiple times. Yes, it should be ordered multiple unless it is out of stock, which we are going to simplify, and the product is not going to be available again. Unless it is out of stock, a product can be ordered multiple times, which is true. And also, a order can have multiple products. In a single order, you can have many products. Understand? I can say, okay, I want to place an order and I select so many products in a single order that I want to place, which means that if I'm going to do that, if I can force add to carts, right, and go on and select another product. I can go on and select another product. I can say, okay, let me add this one also to cart. Let me add this one also to cart. By the time I go to my cart, I'm going to find three products there. Right now, I'm going to find these three products there that are called items here, and I can place the order and buy the three products at the same time, which means that what a order we have many products. Understand? And those products can be ordered again by me or by somebody else. So this relationship is perfect for order placements. Now, let's look at this one. This one said that was a product can have multiple orders. Yes, that is, a product can be ordered many times. And this one said that was a order belongs to one product. That is, when you place an order, you can only buy one item. You can only buy one item when you place an order. In some cases in your store, this might be what you want. Understand? So these two are are good to use. It depends on what your app is doing. But this second one is out of it for product order relationship because it's not going to enable a product to be repurchased when it has been purchased once. So that's not order and product relationship works. But either of these you can use based on how your app functions. If you want if you want, okay, yeah, the product can be purchased by anybody many times, but when someone is placing an order, you only allow them to place you only allow them to buy one product in that order. Then this is the relationship for you. You only want someone to buy a single product in one order, which means that if they want to buy two products, they have to place multiple orders. So then this is the relationship you are going to use. But if you want users to buy multiple products in a single order, to place single order buying many products, understand, then this is the relationship for you. And this is the relationship we are going to go with because by default, because no, not even by default, this is the most common relationships you are going to find between orders and products, and that is why we are going to go for this. And this relationship I've explained, that is how it works for similar collections you want to link together. You must understand that that is how it works for everything. That is how you are going to go through it one by one to explain your head to analyze it. Okay, is this how I want my app to function? Is this how I want this thing to work? Is this how I want to now? The next thing will be different. Which that and what is the next thing? Now, we already established this in a single order. All the order we have a name. We are going to know the quantity of the order of the products of the order, right? In a single order, we can have four products placed. We can have five products, we can have six products, right? So now and then we are going to have the products that have been purchased. That is, these products now, we are going to see many orders, many products. That is, in this single order now we can have many products here. So now we need someone who purchase the product. Someone who purchased the product, the buyer. That's what we need now. We need a buyer. So which means, and the buyer is a user on the app. And that is why we are going to establish relationship between orders and users. And the relationship will be between orders and what? And users. Now, we go through this to explain again. By the time we use this second one to explain, you should understand how you are going to be establishing relationships between your collections. And if you are confused, you can go over this explanation again. Understand? If so, you'll be able to know how to establish relationships between your orders, between your collections. If you get this wrong and you are in the middle of your app already, you might need to go back to delete the relationship and recreate. And that means that what you need to redo your app as the areas where you have used the relationship in your app as well. Now, the order is going to be placed by someone called buyer. So who is the buyer? Is a user. Now we are trying to establish relation between orders and users. Now, what will be the relationship? Understand? Now this, let's say one to many. Now a user can have multiple orders. That is, a single person can place orders several times. Yes. Understand? Yes. On yes. Naturally, that's how it should be. You can place order multiple times. It's not that you go to AliExpress or you go to Amazon and you buy a product, you place an order, and that's okay. That is the only order you can place on our store. You cannot buy any order, anything else. You cannot place any order again. That is not how it works in the marketplace. In the market world, you can buy and rebuy and rebuy. So a user can have multiple orders. It is true. Now about the second one, the order belongs to one user. Yes, when I place an order, it is for me. Nobody else should get my order when I'm the one that placed it and paid for it. You understand? I'm the one that paid for it. I'm the one that placed the order. So I'm the one that should get the order, nobody else. So the order belongs to me. I am the only one person that should get it. And that is why the second one also is true. The order belongs to one user. Perfect. That is the relationship we need. But let's see the other two. I see that what a user can only have one order. This one means that once I place an order on the store, I cannot place order on the store ever again, which is not true. Now this says that what a order can have multiple users. That is, one single order will be placed by many people, which is wrong. So automatically you know that what this is not the relationship you should use. Now let's see the third one that says a order can have multiple users. No, one single order should not have multiple users. It says that what a user can have multiple orders. Yes, it's true. A user can have multiple orders, but an order cannot have multiple users. Understand? Which is why the first one that says a user can have multiple orders and a order belongs to one user is perfect for our scenario here. Me as a person, I want to buy a product, I can place orders several times. So I can place multiple orders. And yes, the orders I place, they only belongs to me. So an order belongs to one user. That's perfect for our situation here. And that's how we want our app to work. So we click on that and click on done. So here I'm just going to rename that user to buyer. So you know. Now, in our orders, we want to be able to know quantity, the total quantity, the total quantity, the I'm not the total quantity now, the total amount or the total amount, because since we are going to be having multiple products, it's not just going to be price of one product. So we are going to have amounts, other amounts, and it's going to be number. That one we can have all the prices of the products added together to be total amount. So that is how orders and product relationship will work. That's how we work. The video is too long already. I will have said we do a sample and we see, but this is how orders and relationship work. Now, another thing that we are going to do here is that okay, these products will be listed by someone. Now, if you are building a store, for example, Shopify store, that can only have the owner of the store is automatically the owner of all the products. Then there's no need for us to establish a relationship between product and users. Understand? Since the owner of this app is the only person that this app belongs to. Nobody else can register to this app and want to sell anything. They are only going to be coming to buy. So if the app is like that, such that when people come, they only register to buy. They are not registering to sell. Then what we have done for the product is okay. But if the owner of this app wants other people to register as a seller, as sellers, you know, you want them to register as sellers such that they can come to the app. So the app will become a marketplace. The app will become a marketplace, not just a store. Understand? It's going to be there's difference between store and marketplace. No, in a store, you can go there and buy. You can go there to buy, not to sell. But in a marketplace, you can go to either to buy or to sell, right? And you can even do both in a marketplace. You can buy and sell, such as on Amazon, you can buy and you can sell. You can become a buyer. You can be a buyer and you can become a seller. The same thing on Gigi. You can buy, you can sell. Similar is all the market. Okay, we talk about Amazon. We talk about which other one in here? We talk about Konga. You can buy, you can sell. So if you're having marketplace like that, then you are going to need to create something so that you are going to know who the product belongs to, which of the sellers the product belongs to. In that case, you are going to link products to users because you must know who is the seller. So if our app is just a store for people to buy, there's no need for us to do that. But if it's a marketplace where people can buy and they can sell, people can register as sellers, then we are going to establish relationship between users and products so you know who the seller is, because the seller will automatically be what the one who listed the product. Then in that case, you are going to link relationship to users. And what is it going to be? A user can have multiple products. Yes, a seller in this case now, they can list many products. And when they list a product, it only belongs to the seller. That is why the second one too is true. That what a product belongs to one user. Understand? It belongs to one seller. In that case, we are going to use the first one here, and we're going to call this one seller because the seller is the one who listed the product. In that case, the products will not be listed from the database. It's going to be listed from the front end, from sellers dashboard, and they are going to have their own dashboard to list their own products. You understand? Because that now becomes a two-way thing. That is, we have more than one type of user on this platform, this app now. We are going to have buyers, we are going to have users, and we are going to have admin who can control things from the database like this, or they can have their own admin dashboard as well. And those things we are going to look at because our app is going in that way. Learnify is a course platform where you can be a tutor and you can be a student. So it's going to be two types of users, and there's going to be super admin, the owner of the app. So with that, I think we have talked about things you need to talk about in database. And additional thing that I'm just going to add here is or external collections. In external connections, on you can only do that on an upgraded app. I'm not going to pause. I'm going to switch in a bit to an upgraded so that I can quickly show you what external connection is. So this is an upgraded app. This is an app I'm building for a client. So let's go into it and use to discuss. You see a lot of data collections added. So we're going to talk about external connections. External collections. Now, when I click on this, you see what it brings. External collection is for you to use API to access, is for you to use, you want to create a collection like this, but you want to create it, you want to use API to integrate with another platform and be getting the items saved on Adalo in real time. So I can connect to, for example, Coinbase and be getting updated cryptocurrency properties such as crypto, the price, and the likes. So you use API for that to integrate with external collection. And also we can do external database. External database is a database that is similar to Adalo setup like this. This is a database. So everything what we can have in database are called collections. Now, we can integrate with external database, and in doing that, there are default database that Adalo says that what that you can connect with, and one you can connect with is called Zano. It's an external database. If you want to use, if you don't want to use the database on Adalo, you want to use an external one, then you can connect with Zano. You can connect with Zano, and you connect with Zano, then there won't be need to use this one. So everything that we are building our app will be connected directly to, will be going directly to Zano, which is similar to Adalo database, and that makes your app to be more to, for the performance to improve and for the speed to improve as well, because there won't be much data stored on Adalo. That gives your app the freedom to move freely and speed up. And that is why in most cases you use external database without using Adalo database right here. And you use it when you know that what your, when the app is large and the audience is going to be more than millions, going over 100 millions, then it is highly advised to use external database. External database. External database. So we have explained. So in this video so far, we talk about the basic things you must understand to build an Adalo app. We talk about the key areas you must focus on from design to database to actions. And also we started talking about database and collections, properties, and relationship between collections. With that, I believe you should clearly understand what database is, how to set it up in relationship to what your app is doing, and how to set the relationship between collections. If you are building your app and you get confused, you can always come back to the explanation to understand your app. The most important thing when you are creating collect database is to understand how your app functions, to understand how your app works. That's very, very important. So we are going to be stopping the video right here, and in our next video we are going to first see how this database setup works before we start building our app proper. So once again, it's Clement Tech Agency CEO. Subscribe to the channels and put on your notifications to keep getting notified about updated videos. See you in the next video.